calculate the perimeter of the diagram. Now, in calculating the perimeter, remember perimeter is the distance around the entire shape. So if I had to look at this shape and imagine myself walking around the entire shape, I must make sure that all the path that I cross, there is amounts there for each of these sides, and that would give me my total perimeter. So by looking at this diagram, we can see that this section here there is no value, and this section here there is no value. So what we need to do is calculate this. Now by looking at the top part, the full length of the top part, we will see that is 22 centimeter, and going down at the bottom there we have 11 centimeter. Now that 11 centimeter is a part of the 22 centimeter. So the line that's horizontal will be 11 centimeters. Okay, then looking at the vertical sides, we see there's 10 centimeter, which is the total length, but there's 6 centimeter as well, and the total of the 6 and the 4 centimeter will give me my 10 centimeter. Now that we have all the measurements, so all we need to do is add the sides. So your perimeter is equal to, okay, we start from each side. It will be 10 plus 11 plus 6 plus 11 again plus 4 plus 22, and we punch the amounts in the calculator. Punching this in, we get an amount of 64 centimeters. Calculate the area of the shaded region. Round off your answer to 2 decimal places. Looking at this example, we can see that there are 2 shapes in front of us. Firstly, there is a square with all sides 12 centimeter, and then there is a circle there, and the diameter is 12 centimeter. So in order for us to get the shaded area, we need to subtract the bigger shape from the smaller shape. Our bigger shape will be the square, so let's work out the area for the square. We know the area for the square is side squared, right? So side squared will be 12 squared, which will be 144 centimeter squared. Right, then we have the area of the circle. The circle will be pi r squared. Right, remember pi, you can punch it into your calculator directly, and or sometimes your educators may tell you to use 3,142. All depends on what your educators tells you. So punching in the value for the pi, right, we would use it as is in this case. So we have pi, right, times the radius. The radius is the diameter divided by 2, so it will be 6 centimeter squared. Right, make sure that you remember the square, because most learners tend to forget this when they are writing down the answers. And this will be 36, and then punch this into your calculator and it will arrive at your answer for the. By punching this into our calculator, we'll get an amount of 113, now they mentioned to us 2 decimal places, so I will say 0,97, just to indicate how we are going to be putting this in 2 decimal places, and this will be 10. And remember, the answer will be centimeter squared. Now we haven't arrived at our final answer. Remember, it's the big shape minus the small shape. So our big shape will be the square. So it will be the square minus the circle, right? And this will give us the shaded area. Okay, substituting here from the amounts we worked out, it will be 144 minus 113 comma 10, right, and our answer will be, punching it into a calculator, 30,9. Now remember, they asked us to put it in two decimal places, so it will be 30,90 centimeter squared. A is a transformed object to image A prime. Mention two types of transformation that took place. Now looking at this indicate this broken line would be the Y and the X axis. So looking at this, we'll see in order for the A to face upwards, it would undertake a rotation. So we have a rotation, right, of 90 degrees, right, that will be the first one, and the second one would be a translation of 2 units to the right. Right, we have the rotation where it faces up, the shape eventually faces up, and the 2 units to the right. Remember, this is the point, and we are looking at 1, 1, 2. Calculate the volume of the cylinder. Now looking at the cylinder, remember volume of a cylinder is volume is equal to pi r squared times the height. Now remember, we need the radius, so our radius will be half of this here, and it will be 4 centimeter. That will be the radius. We have the height, and we know the value of pi. Punching this into the calculator, once we substitute, remember to keep in mind the square that we will be using, and our height will be 12 centimeters. You can punch this directly into the calculator, or if you want to show more steps to show your working, you can do that. The 4 squared will be 16. Now punching this into the calculator, we arrive at our volume. Now once we punch this in the calculator, we have an answer of 603,185. Right, 7, and I'll just leave it at 3 decimal places, which will be 603,186, and remember it's centimeter cubed. That's for volume. Study the graph below and answer the questions that follow. So we have a graph that indicates to us the grades from 8 to 12, and also the number of boys per grade. So answering the question, we have which grade has the least number of boys. So the first one is which grade has the least number of boys. Now by looking at this here, we can clearly see that it's grade 8. Right, which grade has the biggest number of boys? We can clearly see it's grade 10. And in your opinion, what makes this grade in 7.1.2 above to have a biggest number of boys than the other grades? One of the most common things we can mention is the failure rate that could have taken place, right? And obviously the numbers could be quite big, and therefore the number of boys are quite large in terms of this grade here. 50 golf balls, some white, some green and some yellow, are put into a barrel. As they are drawn out, their colors are tallied using the tally system as shown below, and answer the following questions. Now, by looking at this information, the first thing I will do is I'll write that information down in numbers that are easy to work with. So I know that each of these tallies that struck off is 5. So it will be 5, 10, 15, and this would be 16 for the green. In the white, it will have 5, 10, 15, 20, and 23. And the yellow, I'll have 5, 10, and that will be 11. Now make sure that we double check this, which will be 39, 40, 50. So we have a grand total of 50. So our numbers indicated are correct. So we come to the first question, which states, what is the probability that the next ball drawn will be green? Now remember, probability will be, right, what we want the green, right, over what's our grand total is the 50. Right, now remember, it must always be written in simplest form. So we know that simplifying this, both are even numbers, so we'll have an amount of 8 divided by 2 and divided by 2, 8 over 25. Alright, come to the next one. What is the probability that the next ball drawn will be a white? So our white number is 23 over 50. Alright, and the next one would be, what is the probability that the next ball drawn will be yellow? So we'll have 11 over 50. Right. The next number we have, of the 50 golf balls described above, about how many are white? Now that's a very easy question, so our answer will be 23, as you can see from the tally of the white color. Also, you must remember, you can present your answer in decimal form. You could put, but it's important to indicate the fraction form first, and then you can convert to decimal form if you'd like. And also take note of whether they are asking you percentage probability. Then you must take the fraction and multiply it by 100 over 1 and convert it into a percentage.